for now. Okay, we're live.
Scoot over.
Scoot over. Why? So you can have the spotlight all by yourself?
Yes.
I'm in your shine. I'm taking up your space.
Yeah.
What do you mean move over?
I don't have any
These
space.
kids these days. Hey, everybody. We are back again to hopefully finish up the whole school experience. It might take a while because we're going to let Kohen. Can you do what? Can you what? Okay, let's get some video decorum here. Okay, sir?
Yes.
With food from dinner all on your shirt. Okay, so this is Kohen. Kohen is, how old are you?
6.
He is the last of the Wests from the West Side, and he is a student at Iwacu Academy, which is in Vision City in Kigali, here in Rwanda. And he is going to tell you how he feels about his school, his classmates, and his teacher, as well as his campus. So,
And
can you? The fact that you're whispering is killing me. So having some respiratory issues, so I'm going to be coughing periodically throughout. Please pardon me. Kelsey, will you please grab my water for me? Thank you so much. And then you can ask me.
so
And when he makes me laugh, it's even worse because the air is going down my windpipe and it's triggering a reflexive cough situation. Okay.
So hi everyone. I'm Colin Josiah West. I'm going to tell you about my school. So a few of my friends, sometimes they're not my friend, and sometimes they are. They even like to do stuff for me. And when I turned 6 years old, I even had a beautiful cake.
Okay, can excuse me. Can I interrupt you?
Yes.
We're supposed to be talking about school. Kelsey, you have something to say in the midst of the video?
No, I would like to tell Cameron not to say names.
Okay. Don't say names because we don't have permission from parents to say your friend's name. So just say my friend. Okay. Excuse me, sir. We're recording live on YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know you didn't say it.
Okay. Woo! It's all the way live in here
Yeah.
tonight, y'all. It's all the way
Tonight
live.
we got our own video.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions because I think you need more of a structured format to kind of help move this along and get some information, some content in there that is of value to someone. Okay, so are you making a heart? We want to make sure you're not throwing up no kind of signs. Is that a heart? Is that I love you? You telling everybody you love them?
This is that.
So what are you doing?
I'm making a heart.
Okay, come on, Kohen. Okay, listen. Let me.
I'm not finished.
I'm gonna ask you some questions, and I need you to answer them
Yes.
thoroughly, okay,
Mhm.
and accurately. Can you do that? Okay. Tell me how you like your school.
It's because all of my friends always be nice to me, and sometimes they're a little nice to me, and sometimes they're a little mean to me.
Okay. Your school, do you like your campus? Do you like your cafeteria? Do you like your classroom and the different activities that you have to do at school?
Sometimes the people in that school change the inside, but sometimes it's still like it is because it's almost like this is a school.
So are you saying that sometimes they rearrange the furniture in the classroom or
Yeah.
in the cafeteria for different purposes?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have colorful desks and different activities and stations in your class?
Sometimes. And we have different kind of colors of tables. There's circle tables.
Mhm.
They have different colors.
How many people sit at a table in your class?
5.
5 of you all at one table?
Yes.
That's not how I remember.
I mean, actually 4.
Okay, because I
4
was
at
going to say
one
I don't
time.
go to the school every day, so who knows? So what kind of stations do you have? Do you have a station where you have different manipulatives, things that you can do with your hands?
Yeah,
Do
we
you
have
puzzles?
Play-Dohs.
You have Play-Doh?
Yeah.
Do you have a reading station?
Mm,
You have an area
Yeah.
where you sit and read? Do you have somewhere where you can go dress up and be creative?
yeah. It's the bathroom.
What?
The bathroom.
When you change your clothes in the bathroom for
Yes.
privacy?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know, does every class have an outside area where you can breathe the fresh air? They open and they have that outdoor space that you have just for your own class?
There's 2 doors to have some fresh air.
And you can go outside, immediately outside your classroom
Yes.
and have playtime in your own playground,
Yeah.
as
I have
well as
2
group playground?
I have 2 playgrounds. One
Mm.
little and one big.
Mhm. And there's several on the campus. Is there a garden on your campus?
There's we have a field, but they call it field garden.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a garden.
Do you know sometimes that the food that you eat in the cafeteria comes from the garden?
They don't get it from the garden, but they always make some food. Sometimes we don't like and we do.
Sometimes you don't like, and you know. So sometimes you do like the food, sometimes you don't like the food. You have to be
Mhm.
clear. Okay, can we just okay? But what do you tell mommy? Do you normally like the food? Do you usually like the food?
Sometimes I like their spaghetti because it's always fluffy.
So you told mommy one time you like their food better than you like the food at home. So why are you switching it up now? You trying to be nice?
Yeah.
You told me that you like your food at school.
Yes, that's
And they
what
have
I'm talking-
vegetarian food?
Yeah.
They don't have any meat at school at all,
No,
right?
vegan. Everything vegan.
And well, not everything is vegan. Some things are vegetarian. They have milk or eggs in them when they bake sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
sometimes they have egg with pancakes,
Mhm.
even milk with some pancakes.
Okay. Do you feel like you are learning a lot from your teacher at school?
Just a lot.
A lot. Do you like reading better than you used to? Remember
Sometimes-
before you went there, you would get upset or frustrated when you have to read?
Sometimes I'm always frustrated because I'm always confused to read.
You before you're saying?
Yes.
Not now. Now you like to try to sound out your words, right?
Yes.
Do you enjoy reading a little bit more now than you used to?
Yes.
What else do you like
Almost
to
like
do?
when I was in America.
Almost like that. What else do you like to do at school?
Maybe write and play with toys.
Do you have a lot of friends there?
Maybe. I have 10.
That's a lot. Do you have 1 or 2 teachers in your classroom?
1, 2, 3. I have 4 teachers.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have a French teacher,
Yes.
and then you have a regular classroom teacher and a
Yes.
teacher's assistant. What does the other teacher do?
Um,
Sports, your PE?
My
Coach?
PE teacher's name is Mr. Viabanu.
Please stop kicking that.
Okay.
Thank you. It shakes the camera. Okay, we said no names because we didn't get permission. So, okay, tell me what.
Only teachers.
I guess adults are different. What extracurricular activity? Do you know what that is?
No.
What did you do besides class learning and school at the end of the day last term?
Like if one of my friends have if I have karate, then they can go to the big playground and the little playground. And if even if I don't have karate, the girls and the boys have to have gymnastics. And if they have gymnastics, we have to go to the big playground.
Oh, look down there. Aunt Marguerite said, "Hey, West Ham." Say, "Hey."
Hi.
Uh-huh. So you did karate last term,
Yes.
and
And I got a yellow belt.
yes, you did. You did that. Give me another one. Yeah, I'll take another one. Okay, so the options were robotics, gymnastics, karate.
Yeah. And basketball.
This term, an option is basketball. So you're going to do basketball this
Yes.
time, right?
And gymnastics.
Oh, you're only doing one.
What about when I turn 8? Can I do
Possibly. Yes. But so the way they have the schedule is you can only do one at a time because they're happening at the same time. All right. I think we have an understanding about your school experience. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yes. So even if my teachers always being mean to me, I still like them. And
Are they
I still love
mean or
them.
are they firm and they try to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do because you like to get up and wiggle around the room sometimes?
Sometimes they're nice and sometimes they're mean, but I still love them.
You still love them. Yes, you're always trying to take your teacher things from home. When I get in the car, you tell me you gave one of my bags or one of your stuffed animals or something like that. So
Yeah.
apparently
I
they're
always
pretty
want-
nice, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes I want to give them surprises, like if it was their birthday, I always want to give something to them.
You do. So tell me, is there a difference between your school in America and your school here in Africa?
Well, it's just my old teacher. I just miss my American friends,
Yeah.
and Kelsey's friends are even my friends too. So I have so many friends.
You had everybody's friends, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell
Yes.
anybody?
It's just like my friends are always trying to be nice to me,
Mhm.
and sometimes when Iris bothers me,
We said no names.
I mean
When my friend,
when my friend bothers me, I always want to tell my teacher.
Mm-hmm. Well, you should. When somebody's bothering you, you should tell your teacher. Unless you're bothering them first and they're bothering you back because you bothered them.
And sometimes either if they're so mean to me,
Mhm.
I can still tell the teacher.
You can. Do you have worship at school? Do you
Hmm.
learn songs about Jesus?
We only have a few songs. We have
But do you have worship?
worship? No. We have devotion with
That's
we have devotion
That's
and
what
worship.
is. Yeah. Do you learn memory verses?
Memory verses? No. We don't have any memory verses or number.
Yes, you
memory
do.
Verses.
Cohen.
I
Okay.
do.
All right. Now tell me your favorite thing you learned so far this year. Okay.
I love that. I just love something about my teacher.
What is that?
So my teacher, well, sometimes my teacher has other kinds of hair, like hair colors. And
Women like to switch it up, Cohen. We don't like to stay the same all the time. We like to just switch it up sometimes and keep ourselves looking fresh. Is that all right?
Mommy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What? Can you get it? Okay, he's asking me, can you want a different hair
Don't
color?
say it.
Okay, it's a secret. Let's finish up talking about your school. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yes, it's just like every time. Well, today at school, I had a new friend.
Oh, there's a new student that came to the school since we just started a new term after the holiday break.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the holiday break, when I was doing that, my friends went somewhere to school, and they went there without me.
when you say they went to school, you mean while they were out of school, they went different places, maybe back to
No,
their
they-
parents' home
No, I'm talking
countries?
about my teacher told them to come when it was holiday, and then I don't know what they did, but they left me.
Yeah, they couldn't take you with them to India and Kenya and all the
They
different
didn't
places
go
that they're from.
anywhere. They didn't go in everywhere. So
Okay, you want to say goodbye, please?
I'm not.
What else did you want to say?
So my new friend looks kind of funny to me that I don't want to tell.
Yes,
you.
don't do that. We want to be nice and kind.
Oh,
We can
and
talk about
somebody
that later.
and somebody is coming to Africa. And if you don't know, her name is Grandma.
Her name is Grandma. What does that have to do with the school?
But don't tell anybody.
Okay.
If you do, something's going to very scary happen.
Okay, Kohen.
Dragons.
Say goodbye so Kaia can come and finish her.
I have to do one more thing. And I'm getting aqua dragons from my grandmother.
So my mother-in-law is coming to visit in March with my sister-in-law, and he has sent her a list of things that he'd like for her to bring. She asked what the children want, of course. And there is something called some aqua dragons that he's looking forward to receiving, little play pets that he can take care of. So he's excited about that.
Yeah, and you have to wait for them to hatch for 40 minutes. Then after that, you give it 3 things of food to eat. They're so small, and even you can give them human being food.
Human being food?
That's small.
Okay. All right. Say good night, everybody.
Good night.
Time to go to bed.
And
Get
don't
ready for bed.
forget about Kohen Josiah West. Goodbye.
What a side out. Don't forget about Kohen Josiah West, y'all. Don't.
And I'm the
You're the what? You're the king?
King.
That's right. That's right, Pumpkin.
And mommy's the queen, and daddy's the big king. I'm the baby.
Daddy's the big king. You're the baby king?
I'm not the baby king. I'm the prince.
The prince.
And Kaia is the princess.
Okay. Good. Good night. Good night. Come on over, Kaia. Can you give us a recap of where? Do you remember where we left off?
No.
Okay.
What list?
Well, let me do this. Let's just. We'll do a brief recap.
Ask if he's
of-
in a public school or private school.
He is in a private school. He is at Iwacu Academy, and it is a private school where they speak English. He learns French and some Kinyarwanda while he's there, but it's a private school, and it's located in an community called Vision City in Kigali. Yeah. All right. Let's get him off to bed. Okay, just kind of basically give a recap where you are in school. I'm gonna come back, but he needs a little assistance. So I'll ask you. Let's just do this. I'll set you up. Someone asked, "Do we not want you all to learn French?" So yes, we want them to learn French. When we kind of ended up, we were talking about their experience where we found out that the majority of Kelsey's classes were taught in French, where the teachers only spoke French during the entire class and they were supposed to take notes. And so tell us where you are with that. Have you learned some French? Are you doing a little bit better? Have you acclimated to that environment where you're in a bilingual school? And then I'll be right back.
Acclimated to that. Okay, so to start, since it's Kaia's show now, to start. So when I was first introduced to the idea of, this is a international school, they're bilingual, there are multiple languages that you will be experiencing or you'll be hearing on campus, whatever. I was like, yeah, that's great. Cause I want to learn a language. I want to be able to go to college and say, oh, yes, I went to insert country here for blank years and I learned this, that, and the other. So like, yeah, that would be really great. The thing is, the administration and the teachers, the administrators, whatever, they are, I guess, assuming that you already know some type of French, or you already have some type of background, the basics, numbers, greetings, whatever, the adjectives and the verbs, English for French. When that is not the case, I am fresh out of the Americas. That's not me. And so I feel like, is that you? I'm kidding. But anyways, I feel like as the year has gone by, obviously I've started to pick up more things. I've been here longer to start to kind of recognize, oh, this means this, on top of the fact that I'm actually in intervention. So, I'm learning as I'm taking in.
Intervention is French tutoring.
But I feel like teachers should be briefed about, these are the students that are new. These are the students that don't speak this. They don't speak that. They have no, background in this or that. And then the teachers need to be prepared for that, because a lot of the times, like I have two classes in French besides French. I have PE, physical education, in French, and I have Bible studies in French. And both of the teachers, well, the PE teacher has somewhat come to an understanding that I don't understand French. But
Go ahead.
okay. But my Bible teacher, for some reason, the substitute Bible teacher, because my Bible teacher is great, but the substitute Bible teacher can't seem to, get it that I don't understand French. Every single class, you're talking to me, you're asking me to answer these questions, write something on the board. No comprende.
So, and we talked about that. The premise is that by immersing the children completely in French, that they will catch on is their take, and that they will, as they're exposed to it. And children, the plasticity of their brains is amazing. They do learn quickly, but it's difficult when children are at different levels and they're in the same classroom. So their thing was like, well, this is where we are, and this is how we do it. So give them a chance, let them get acclimated. They'll catch up. We'll see how they do. And so my question was, have you caught up? Because I want to move on to the next topic.
Caught up how?
Do you feel that you are further along in your French comprehension and proficiency, ability to understand and speak some of it than you were before?
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. All right. Great. So we touched on the Cambridge curriculum. I think you pretty much basically said that in comparison to the American, they teach or introduce subject matter a little earlier in the academic school levels than they do in America. So for example, you may be taking physics in 6th grade versus waiting to take it in 8th or 9th in America. That's just an example to clarify. Okay, so the campus, what do you think about the campus?
International school rate fees. The campus, I would say, now, of course, we are not in America. It's not going to be.
Tell me about the campus, child.
That's what I'm doing. I'm elaborating because they want all the details.
Just tell us about the campus.
That's what I'm doing. So this is not America. It's not going to be, some fancy buildings. We got a swimming pool.
But
we got
stop you there.
a lab.
It could be. It doesn't have anything to do with it not being in America. There are campuses like that. Kicks is one of them. You're asking about school fees.
I'm saying structure-wise.
No,
structure-wise.
Tell me what your campus looks like.
Because to pull up
you don't want to make it sound like because it is not in America that it's subpar or
I'm not
inferior.
saying that because it's not in America.
Because there are schools
this
like
school
that
sucks.
here that
Like,
have
no.
those things, is what I'm saying. There are, you said because it's not America, it's not going to have this, and this.
No, I'm saying.
And there are schools here that do.
Structure-wise.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, then let me rephrase my
My
statement.
school looks like
My
this. Let's
school
just do that.
looks okay.
Sorry, I'll let her talk.
Oh.
Tell us what your school looks like.
My school consists of a primary building. It's like in a semi-square. Does that exist? I'll have to look that up
It's a
later.
cul-de-sac.
It's like a square with one piece missing, right?
Your
One
school,
side.
your campus is
the
laid out.
the primary building is like a dent, that kind of thing.
What's the dent?
It's like
An L-shaped building?
no, it's an L shape with the little thing. So there's opening right here. That's just open area, right?
Like a
Right?
courtyard?
Sure, I guess you could say that. Then the secondary building is like one long stretch of building, and then they have the wait. You laughing at my description skills? And then, they kind of like split up primary. So primary has that little shape that I was trying to figure out, and then they have a 3-story building that consists of other, offices and other classrooms and things like that. But the campus as a whole, it isn't horrible. I mean, it has a basketball court, volleyball court, football pitch, or they call it football here, but soccer field. And then they have lots of green spaces, garden, things like that. So
They have the chapel a little ways down, right?
yeah,
Administrative building,
kitchen on campus, all that
kitchen,
stuff.
which is separate as an outdoor kitchen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a pretty large campus.
Yeah.
You're
What I
able
was
to
saying
navigate
was,
it.
me, when I was comparing it to America, whatever you were saying, I have like this fantasized,
Keep going.
Oh, I have like this fantasized type of like idea of how I want my dream high school to look like. Of course, it's definitely not going to be what I'm anticipating, what I'm hoping, because we're not okay. So structure wise, you're not going to see like these fancy high school buildings.
Why are you not?
Because we're not like, okay, I don't know how to make this not sound
I'm just asking how
stereotypical or
your
whatever.
campus looks.
That's what I'm doing. And
You
I'm
explain it
also explaining that whatever. On to the next question. Since there's always a problem.
I mean, I just asked you what your campus looks like.
Yes. And I was gonna give them all the details because that's what they want to know.
Right, the details of your campus?
Yeah. And then I'm telling
Go ahead
them
and finish.
it's not going to be what you expect it to be. Now it's not gonna I'm gonna just leave it at that. On to the next question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, because they said if you are sending your child here, what is everything that you want them to know? If you're coming from America, it's not gonna look like your Riverview High School with, all the amenities.
There are schools in America that are considered subpar, not well equipped, don't have a lot of resources, are not.
Find a picture.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, of
Is
course.
that not true?
Yes,
It's a problem with some of the buildings and facilities in America as well. Is there not?
Definitely.
Okay, I'm just so anyway.
Come on,
We talked about the teachers expectation compared, but before we do that, so school fees, it really varies. There are private schools, there are international schools, there are French schools, there are parochial schools like church schools, and then of course there are public schools. There are a couple of
say this. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you're not going to see a high school looking like that here. That's what I'm saying. When I think of a high school, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be big. Not saying that the school isn't big because the school is huge. It's got like 1,000 kids. But like when I think of a high school, I'm thinking, oh, lockers here and mean teachers in the hallways. Mommy, you're ruining the
I'm just
the
keeping it
layout
real.
of the dream.
Mm.
Well, path to success is not. But I have like a certain idea. This school, let me say that. This school does not fit that description, but maybe other schools do. Like I know there is a high school called Riviera High School that's actually very,
It looks
high-end
more
and
like
fancy.
what you expected it to look like.
It's a boarding
There's
school.
a desk in there in that room. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's a boarding school. I don't really want to go to a boarding school right now. So yeah. On to the next question.
I forgot what I was saying.
Something about the teachers.
Yes. So, no, not the
Yes.
teachers, the fees I was talking about. So my husband found a website and I can't remember the name of it, but he Googled schools in Kigali or international schools, and it provides a list of all of the various schools and an approximate fee for the term fees, admissions fees, all of the different the fee schedules or what have you. But you'd have to go to the individual school's website. So I would take that website and then look up the school's website from there to get more specific details on their fee structure. But they range from extremely expensive to really, really, really affordable and less expensive than in the U.S. One of the most expensive one is Kigali International Community School. It's a Christian international school with an American curriculum. It's the only or first American accredited international school here in Kigali. I think I saw on their website. There's Wellsprings Academy. There's Green Hills. Green Hills is very popular. Wellsprings is a Christian private school. I believe it's international.
Wellspring?
I know Green Hills is international. It's like one of the next expensive. There are 2 Montessori schools here. There's an American Montessori school, Dove International Montessori. So there are a lot of school options here. Very, very many. And like I said, you can get a bullet list of all of them and then see what you're interested in. It'll tell you the area of town that there are, and then just take a name from that list and look up the specific school's website and get more details about it. What kind of extracurricular activities does your school have?
So right now I'm not entirely sure. I know that they were doing basketball. They were doing a bunch of after school clubs and things like that. I know they had basketball. I believe they had karate.
They have basketball, karate. I think they have gymnastics. They have contemporary dance. They have art. And they have debate.
How you don't know?
Because
soccer, football,
that
don't they?
flyer was 3 months ago. I don't know.
You're getting French.
Oh, let me hold on.
Where, mommy?
Tu seras bien.
Mommy.
That sounds like Spanish though.
No,
what do you
it's
mean?
French.
It says
Ben,
salut,
you read it
Kaia.
out now.
Salut is French.
Yes, I already
I
responded
know.
to
I'm
that
talking about the
earlier.
one under there. Comment. We're testing French. Okay.
Where, mommy?
Right here. Go around to the other side.
A
You need to put your
good
glasses on.
understand.
Tell me how the tests and exams are administered at your school.
But what do you mean administered? Given out?
Yeah,
How
do they do it? Do they split you all up and break you? Are they handwritten? Are they computerized? Do you do? You have never even heard of Scantron, where you bubble in the sheets.
Scantron,
Do they
yes.
teach the information, then review the
Hello,
information, and
Academy.
then okay? So
Mhm.
how do
So, for exams things like that here, we take exams twice a term. So we have midterm exams and we have end of term exams. And I honestly wish somebody would have briefed me that, oh yes, in the middle of the term you're having an exam. Like, okay,
when you were at school in America, didn't you have midterms?
no, it was like we have STAR testing, which is just to see where you are.
Standardized test.
No.
It's
STAR and
standardized.
standardized are two different things.
No, it's a type of standardized test.
Yes,
Go ahead.
You mean Iowa testing?
That is a form of standardized test as well.
STAR testing was
multiple. Go ahead.
we did STAR testing more frequently than we did
Do you wanna come?
any standardized testing or something like that. So our testing here, we do midterm exam, which consists of 13 different exams because we have 13 classes. So that's physics, chemistry, biology, math, and so on, stuff like that, right? I'm trying to think of my classes. And
I'm like,
you
don't know which
GP,
Global
global perspectives, business studies, economics, history, literature, English as a first language, French, all that good stuff. Well,
That's a lot
all
of
that
classes.
stuff. Too many
It
classes.
sounds like a college.
We have like 8 classes in
roster.
one day. That's a problem, but it's okay because I'll be ready for college. Amen. But anyways, are you picking up? She is. Me?
They told me today that when I laugh, I call. They told me today that I know more Kinyarwanda than they do, and I was surprised. I was like, "What?" But I try to learn it. So when I hear new words, I'll say, "What does that mean?" Or I'll ask, how much does that cost in Kinyarwanda?" I'll hold on to that. I'll put that in my pocket. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, goodbye, those things like that. So I ask our guard, and I use Google Translate. So I try to remember because I think it's important. I just thought you all are picking up more. I'm a kuru. Okay, go ahead.
But where was I? Oh, so we have 13 different exams. We take at least 4 each day, and the exams take up about a week and a half or so of regular classes or whatever. So our midterm exams, like I said, or our exams in general, we take them twice a term. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 3 terms, 2 tests, 6 exams that we take in a whole year. And then we also have checkpoints. So checkpoints is kind of like STAR. I'm assuming if you know what STAR testing is, it's basically a computerized test that you take to see where you are for all the subjects. But here, I don't think it's computerized. All the tests are paper tests, but they're not handwritten, they're printed. And then for checkpoints, we are supposed to take them in April. We're only supposed to do science, math, and English for those, I believe. They're gassing it up to be all big. I'm sure it's not that serious.
What? Challenging?
Checkpoints.
They're
making
making it out to be difficult.
Right. Okay. English is a first language. It won't be hard for me because it's my first language. Science shouldn't be too hard unless they decide to put things that nobody can study for on there. And then math, as long as they don't put anything that has to do with geometry, then I'm good. But I'm actually doing really great in shapes and measurement for volume and surface area and circumference and circles and things like that. So I think I have a good chance of getting a high score.
Okay, can we?
Oh, but yes, back to the testing. So like I said, all the testing is paper tests. We get about like an hour or so to do each test. When asked about the content of the tests, I would say 85% of the tests are all covering things that everyone knows. And when I say everyone, I mean if you have new students coming to a school, you want to make sure that you either cover everything so that all of your students are well informed so that they can answer all the questions on the test, or don't teach that year, because I know not all, a good number of the teachers put things from like last year's curriculum, whatever that they were studying, on their tests. And I'm sitting here like, yes, I studied everything that she gave me because we are strictly note-based. We don't use computers at all except for computer lab, whatever. So we strictly do everything from textbook to notebook. We are always writing. So you're giving me the textbook and you're giving me notes to write. I'm studying them. I'm reading the textbook, and the things that are in the test are not what I studied. What's happening?
So to be clear, there are questions sometimes, as she said, from summer school. And I think I was told that summer school is mandatory. And it's to accelerate them. And so in the US, and I asked the principal personally because she kept mentioning that there was subject matter and content on her exams that she didn't know. She had not learned it. I said, wait a minute, they're testing you on things that you have not been taught in class. That material has not been gone over leading up to the test. That's problematic. I'm concerned, confused. That doesn't make sense. Let me find out what's going on and why and what their methodology is, and I understand, what's going on and see how I can help. So we were told that, yes, indeed, that sometimes they do put information from the previous year's math or science or what have you, or from summer school to review that. However, of course, there are new students that come to the school every year, and there are international students that come from India, Germany, Belgium, France, Kenya, wherever, Tanzania, America, who have not learned the information that the previous students have learned who have matriculated through that school. So, you're putting them at a disadvantage. Those who did not go to summer school or those who did not go to the school previously. So we expressed that. It might have been something they didn't think about before. I don't know. But, and then we got the understanding that their summer school is to accelerate. It's not for students who need to catch up or who may have been remedial. Like most programs in the US are, summer school is to, if you are falling behind or if your grades are not up to par, it's to bring you up to where you need to be so that you are on the same page with your peers the next year. Theirs is to push you forward and accelerate. So the Cambridge curriculum and the PTS, Path to Success mode of operation really is they like to accelerate their students. So tell me, are school days longer than in the US? Tell us what the school schedule is like in Africa.
That's not even a question. So back in the States, I remember we used to start school around 8 maybe, and we'd get out 3:30. Back then, I used to think, they're getting us out at 3:30. We need to be going home. It is too late. Y'all need to have us getting out at 3. What is this? We take a flight on over here. School starts at 7:45, right?
7:40. How come you don't know what time you're supposed to be at school?
Because they
in
just
America
don't change
and
the
here?
schedule.
But you spent a whole term going.
I'm an American. I'm
7
an
or
American.
have to be.
I'm an American.
I did not know. You had to be at school at 7:40 every day, and you got out of school at what time?
So we fly on over here.
What time did you get out of school?
We fly on over here. Start school. School starts at.
Snatch her up.
School starts at 7:40, and we get out at 4 o'clock.
7:44.
This is a work day.
So they go to school longer here. And a lot of the students have to ride school buses because they come from different parts of town to go to the international schools for, good education or what have you. There are children who have to wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to get the school bus because they have to make multiple stops along the way to the school. And that means sometimes going down in villages, going down dirt roads, going down hilly passages or what have you, which is slower. You don't have 4 or 5, even 3-lane expressway system that gets you to school quickly and efficiently. So they have children that have to get up very early. And then, like she said, they get out. Dismissal is at 3:30. Then there's like some free time and you can leave at 4. And some schools have slightly different schedules where they would have to be at school at 7:45 or 8 and get out at 4. But overall, it seems like here their school day is longer. The Ministry of Education just mandated that the students they can no longer be required to start school earlier than 8:30. So school has to start 8:30, no earlier. But her school is now doing an 8:05 drop off for devotion from 8:05 to 8:25, and then class starts at 8:30, and they get out. It pushed back, so they get out now instead of 4 at 4:30. My son's school, they get out at 4:30. Stop being so dramatic. And
we
then
work a 9 to 5, y'all. We work a 9 to 5, no paycheck or nothing. They're over here stuffing our brains with physics and economics and business studies.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a long day. My son's school starts at 8:30 now, whereas he used to be dropped off between 7:45 and 8. But he still gets out at the same time. But he was getting out at 4:30 anyway, because they do the extracurricular from 4 to 4:30. That's when he would do karate, but now he'll be doing basketball Do the kids have to take a placement test when starting? Yes, they have to. No matter what school you go to, or where you're coming from, your child, your student will take a placement test for that school, so that that school can determine which class is appropriate for your learner. So, yep, that is. So if they go to another school next school year, because they're going to finish out this school year where they are, we've already decided they won't be going back for a myriad of reasons, some of which you've heard this evening and over the last couple segments. And we want them to be a little closer in anyway, because commuting to that school has been a hassle. But even when they go to another school here in Kigali, they will take a placement test, because each school administers their own placement test that they assess the needs of the student there. What time does she leave home to go to school in order to be there? So last term, since she had to be there at 7:40 and my son had to be dropped off, and we live in the middle, they're 25 minutes to Kaia and Kelsey's school, and we're 25 minutes, and they are 25 minutes to Kohen school, and then 25 minutes back home. So they would get up at 6. They would get up at 6 and then leave at 6:45. Now that the Ministry of Education has mandated that schools can't start earlier than 8:30, even though their school starts at 8:05 for devotion.
That's what the mandate was.
Yes, they.
So
I told you that. Now
we wake
what was the
up
question?
at 6:45.
Yeah.
We leave the house by 7:25 or 7:30.
But that's not going to work, because today was the first day that they had to do
Traffic
that,
was
and traffic was really
crazy.
bad, because now we had to change the route, since they don't have to be at school until, well, my son has to be dropped off between 8 and 8:20, and they have to be there by 8:05. So now, instead of taking the girls first and then taking Kohen, my husband has to take Kohen first and then take the girls.
Oh.
And changing the direction of the route was havoc for his commute. It was a lot of traffic. The roads are narrower, it's 2
This
lane,
big.
yeah,
5
and
people trying to
everybody
get
now is
through.
trying to get acclimated to this new schedule. Everybody's traveling at the same time. He said he came home this morning, he's like, this not gonna work. This is not gonna work. We definitely have to move, which we were trying to do anyway to get closer to one of their schools. So yeah, that's to answer the question about what time they get up and leave. Please don't forget to keep the link of the school fees in your description box. Okay, I will do that. I'll put a note. So the school day is longer here in general. You know, parents are used to their children being in school for longer periods of time. A lot of them have drivers for their children. Some of them call the local taxi company to come pick them up and bring them home. Like I said, some of them have their own personal drivers. They have their own vehicle, and they have a driver as their staff. So several people have cooks or chef and a housekeeper, maybe a nanny as well, a guard, and sometimes one of those individuals pick their children up so that it doesn't disrupt their work schedule. That's kind of customary. By any chance, did you all look into Green Hill Academy School? I'm looking for a school for my twin daughter, 3rd graders. Ooh, those socks. Yes, we looked into Green Hills, and it's very expensive. So for our budget with our 3 children, it was out of budget for us. And we prefer a Christian-based curriculum. So that was another thing. Well, not out of budget, because we considered it. It's on the higher end as far as tuition goes. It's an excellent school. It's good. We have friends who have twin girls who are 10 years old now. I don't know when their birthdays are, but they're twin girls. They are 10. They go to Green Hills. I know they have half days twice a week, if I'm not mistaken. I know Wednesday is a half day. And it's a pretty good school, although their feedback, and this is from their mouth to your ears, that the image of what it portrays itself to be online and during the tour is not everything that it's cracked up to be. One of the criticisms that I've been told is that they, like if a teacher has to be out for an emergency or something like that, they won't have a substitute teacher. The kids will just maybe have a free period, or they'll, I don't know, give them some busy work to do. And that had been an occasional problem. I don't know about frequent. I don't know if that would be accurate, but apparently it was an issue where it was happening quite a bit. And I know that the principal of that school is an American woman, I believe. She's American. And she's getting some things taken care of and wrapping some things up. She's a new principal to the school that just came this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So if you need some more information, I can probably get you in touch with, well, email destinationwestafrica@gmail.com. Email us destinationwestafrica@gmail.com, and I will find out if I can share that family's contact information with you. Some expats from Chicago who moved here in June, and their girls go to Green Hills. And they thought that it was going to be much more stringent curriculum, much more on point, tighter with the communication. Communication is something that they say falls through the cracks for them as well. Yeah. So let's see. What else are we leaving out about school? We talked about meals, food. How's the food? Do they provide food? It's provided in the tuition, by the way, for most schools. Snacks, a breakfast snack, a lunch,
and then a
so
fruit
how does it
or
taste?
whatever at the end of the day. So
how is it getting used to the food?
So I will start with this. I am not particularly a picky person, so my opinion of the food may be different to someone that's younger than me, or someone that has more food preferences, or food allergies, whatever, even though we are vegan. But where was I going with this? Oh, so I feel like the food here is decent. Now, I wasn't expecting it to be back in the States where you would pay for your food and you'd get something different every day. One day we have fettuccine Alfredo, the next day we have topsy-turvy waffles and tater tots, something like that. But the food here, like, to give you an overall idea, is rice and some type of sauce. So it mostly consists of vegetables. Like, to give you kind of like a meal plan for the week type of thing, Mondays we have like this vegetable concoction. That makes it sound bad. We have this it's okay. It's not, I wouldn't call it a sauce because it's not like liquidy. It's kind of chunky. Maybe it's like a soup type of thing that goes over rice, but it's not like a curry. So it has vegetables in it, and then they'll put chicken in there. Obviously I opt out on that
in
part.
it or on the side? I thought you said.
Obviously I opt out because
Is it in it?
Huh? Yeah.
Or
Take it out. Or I just ask for them to not scoop me some. But what?
Go ahead.
But so that's usually Monday. Couple days out of the week, we'll usually have like rice and beans, rice and vegetables, rice and whatever, right? Let's see. One day out of the week, they give you the option of having pasta or rice, and then you have a sauce for that. So it's like your free day.
Why
give you
free day?
Because they give you rice every other week. I mean, every other day except Friday. Occasionally, or more frequently now, we have this like vegetable noodle pasta type thing. It's not the greatest. It's like the sauce it's like it's water, and then there's vegetables and seasoning in there, and it's like, oh, we trying to slide that in there. Y'all would notice, but so that's that. I usually just don't eat that day.
Rice and beans is a meal in my. That's right. Yeah.
See, I'm trying to get a job. It's not really working out here, but we'll see how that goes. But you're always laughing at me
because you're a mess.
No.
Kelsey, on the other hand, is more particular. She doesn't eat. She doesn't eat lunch at all. She's very particular about whether or not, I don't know what they're doing in the kitchen, what they're cooking it in, where they had meat in it, and some meat touched that, or meat was in the soup, and I'm not just picking my meat out. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you didn't, but
Yeah.
don't ask for snacks at home. But anyways, Friday is when they decide to go all out and give you a little something special. I remember one time we had fried rice. That was the only time that I got like 3 plates of food. It was amazing. Okay.
Was that the only time?
Yes.
Okay.
It was so good.
As I said, and the meals are included in the tuition, and that's the case for most of the schools I have heard here. What about the classroom setup? Is it we already know it's not state of the art,
I wasn't even gonna say that.
No, they don't have lockers at their school. There are some nice schools here. Some of them do have lockers. Like Acorn had lockers, remember? Acorns Academy. That's another one. Green Hills, Wellsprings, Acorns, Kicks. Yeah, those are some of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
Path to Success is a very popular one too. Like you said, they have over 1,000 students at that school. Lots of teachers, have a library on campus, as they should. But school wouldn't. But uniforms. Do you wear uniforms? What's the dress code?
So this right now is the
sports
uniform. They call it sports here instead of physical education or PE. So yeah, when you hear me say sports, I'm not talking about basketball, volleyball, football, soccer, whatever. Sports is the physical education that we partake in. So you're always laughing at me, but so the uniforms. We look like traffic guards.
So the question was, do you wear them?
No, you just said.
Do you wear uniforms?
Yes, we do, as you can see. So on the days that we have sports or physical education, we wear these uniforms. Majority of I think they do. I don't really know how they specifically classify it, but I know that some of why can't I talk? Okay, so
or you could just say
grades.
We wear this and that.
No,
okay, go ahead.
Give them all the details.
Mm-hmm.
They can. So, go into this question: can they take their own lunch? There are some people with because of their culture, they don't eat this, that, and the other. They bring their own lunch. Mostly is it? Did I say Indians?
Let me. No, it's not.
Okay.
Indians who are Hindu and don't.
They don't eat meat.
Have certain religious
they're
practices.
Vegetarian, whatever, vegan. Mm-hmm. They bring their own lunch.
So my husband and I asked about that because we have a plant-based diet and we wanted to make sure that our children were eating nutritious food that did not include cheese, dairy, eggs, meat, that kind of thing. And the tuition includes, as I said, the meals. And I do remember them requesting that we handwrite a note expressing our desire for our children to bring their own meals so that they could get it approved by the kitchen, the director of the kitchen or what have you, so that it can be accommodated in the fee schedule so that they would not have to charge us for that. But then when Kaia found out that they had some other options, or she just eats around it, so she'll only eat the beans or she'll only eat the rice or whatever, didn't have it. We didn't, when we registered them, we did write the note, leave that so that they could get the appropriate approval with the plan to send their snacks and lunches, which is something we have done since they were born. I have always, from nursery school, what's on your menu? A lot of times schools will send a calendar with the meal schedule, and I would try to emulate that with foods that were similar so that my children wouldn't feel different or left out or awkward or what have you. As close to possible, I would try to send them things that were vegan that were like what their classmates were eating. It couldn't happen every day, but a lot of times it did. So it's just something that I've always been accustomed to, and they will accommodate that at Path to Success. We know for a fact because we asked. And like she said, there are children who come from families with religious values that needed to be accommodated for their dietary restrictions or preferences. And there are other schools that we know that is possible because there are also children with food allergies. And the kitchen is not, in the States, they have certified, gluten-free and allergy-free kitchens, but I don't know that is here. Certified.
Something new. Let me write that down.
My goodness. I have some congestion and postnasal drip in my chest. That's why I'm coughing so much. So, because it's been rainy season and a lot of things are blooming, so my allergies were triggered. Allergies I didn't know I had because there are things blooming here that I'm not accustomed to because I've never lived in Africa before. So that side note. But yeah, I don't think that any schools have a major problem because we asked the very same thing for Cohen. It just so happens that they have a totally vegetarian kitchen already. And in the documentation, and when we filled out to register them, and it asks, do your children have any allergies? We just put no, however, vegan, And so when they prepare Cohen's food at his school, they know not to give him anything that has milk or cheese or dairy. And I don't know why I keep going down any dairy or meat in it. And they don't serve meat at his school anyway. So I think most of the schools will accommodate that. Taking their own lunch.
That's what we just answered.
Good night.
But,
thank you. You
what
stay
were
safe.
You
were talking about uniforms.
What
do you wear?
So what I was trying to say was each grade has a different color uniform, so you're able to distinguish for sports. Oh, they're wearing green, yellow, red.
Each
whatever.
grade has a different color.
Color sports uniform. Yes. Grades. They start from grade 1. They have a separate nursery campus, but they start from grade 1 on the campus that I'm in. Grade 1 to grade 6 wears skirts for the girls, and their uniform is gray and white. Grades 7 through 9 wears black pants, blue striped shirts. We look like traffic guards. It's okay.
And a bow and a tie.
And a bow tie. Yes. Yeah. Took me a while to figure out how to tie it right, but I got there.
I taught you how to tie it. Yeah, so and I thought the way it was worded, saying we provide the uniform. I'm like, no, good. Well, they provide it, of course, at a fee because they were like, okay, when your parents pay the money and we give them this paper, you can take it to the supplies office and get your uniform. So it's like, oh, you don't provide it, we pay for it. So they get one uniform. And I can't remember how much it was. I know that the sport uniform is $15 for the top and the bottom. But Kelsey's shirt and skirt, and it's time to get another one because one for the whole week and their children, so you may want to purchase a couple extra. I'm gonna have to get some more. They've done okay, washing it regularly and keeping it pretty decent. But
I will say about the uniforms though, I don't know if it's just my shirt or the quality of the shirt is not great, but when you wash it too many times, it looks like you've been running through cat litter. Like it has little balls in there, yeah, and they don't come off. So
I'll probably get a new uniform each term, and there are three terms. The school that's another thing. So the school day is longer here. Let's talk about the school year. Tell us about your term. It started September 5th is when they started school. They got out for the holiday. They did not get Thanksgiving off because that's an American holiday. At Kicks, they get Thanksgiving off because it's an American international school. The American Montessori school will get it, makes sense. So the term was over after your exams. December 19th is when they went on break before Christmas. And they just returned back to school on January 4th. So we're now in term 2, which will go until,
I believe, March or April.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then, the longest
they have
rest of the term ever.
Easter break for about a week, or the time of mourning where they honor the genocide. And then after that break, they come back for term 3, which will be from April to June. 23rd is the last day of school. They have their exams the 15th through the 22nd of June. So they go to school from September to June here, whereas in the States, we're used to something more around August to May. Mm-hmm.
I could see if they were like, oh, yeah, we'll take you to June, maybe like the beginning of June.
The issue, okay, so Cherie wanted to know if the little guy has shared yet. He shared first because here it is 8:31 and he goes to bed at 7:30. So we've been on it for an hour.
Once the live ends, then the video will upload and you can just go back.
He's in the very beginning, and he did
giving his
giving all of him little self, his personality. Yeah, he talked. So he talked about his school in the beginning, and then put him off to bed.
But the school year, yes, is rather long for an American like me who is used to having my end of May to mid-August, beginning of August break.
But you had such a long break
unfortunately.
because you got out of school in America. Your school, FH Jenkins in Nashville, got out in May, and then she didn't start school until September. So she had a long summer break. Yep. So what else about school? Transportation. They a lot of the schools here provide transportation. They have the school buses. Even the boarding, there's an Adventist boarding school here that's about 40 minutes away. And they 40 minutes away. And they come out here. Literally, we have seen them drive down our street in front of our house. We're like, we're gonna send y'all there and put you on that bus. So they're very
Petition to have Kaya
accommodating.
go to a regular school.
What's regular school?
Regular, which is not boarding.
Not boarding.
Mhm.
Day school.
Day school.
So they have school buses, and that's what we're saying about a lot of children having to get picked up very early so they can get to school on time when school was starting earlier and they can get home. They got home pretty late. So school buses are provided here for a lot of the schools.
I would be cautious when choosing what?
When choosing what?
When choosing to send your child on a school bus, because the driving here is crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous.
You have to contend with just different driving styles, driving habits, driving patterns, different rules and the lack thereof, and lots of motorcycles, pedestrians, and bicyclists. Just yeah. All right. So we talked about the curriculum. We talked about the campus. We talked a little bit about the tuition. We talked about the French and how they're coming along with the French uniforms, food, the length of time of the day, the testing, and the school terms. Anybody else have any school related questions before we sign off?
Also, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about like the teaching, the instruction. Oh, you were saying the class. What do you say? Class setting or something like that I didn't get to answer.
How is the classroom set up?
What do you mean? Like, elaborate.
How is the living room set up? It has 2 chairs there. It has what is the setup of the living room? Do you have a whiteboard? Do you have do you have a projector? Do you have a chalkboard? Do you have the chalkboard in the front? Does the teacher teach from the back of the class? How is your classroom set up?
So my personal classroom and my homeroom classroom. Also to say, in Path to Success, we don't like switch classes or whatever unless it's a class that cannot be taught in that classroom. So for instance, computer lab or whatever, or we have home science as well, which takes place in another part of like a building on campus where we do crafts, cooking, and things like that. We made bread. It was great.
But it mess. You didn't bring me any bread.
Yeah, because it was like a half a sliver. And they're like, oh, yeah, you need to eat it now. I don't think about that.
A half a sliver. So you baked a whole loaf, though, right?
But they were like,
did everyone bake a loaf?
There was 26 kids in that classroom. But so what I was saying was, for the classroom setting in my classroom, each of the classrooms actually consists of a chalkboard and a whiteboard in the front of the classroom. I'm not sure why they did that, but it's their choice. But so my secondary building, the one that houses 7th grade to 9th grade classrooms, it is concrete, wood, and steel, basically. Floors are concrete. The walls are like these
cinder block.
No, the walls separating the classroom. Like, think of it as one long rectangle, and you have like dividers. So those dividers are made of wood. They're like, you can hear through the other classroom if the teacher or the students are too loud. But the sides of the building are concrete. The floor is concrete, and the roofs are like steel or iron. Or
the classroom setup.
Yes. Like I was giving them the building thing because they should.
The architecture.
Yes, the car. Yeah. So
I just want to know about it. Do you sit at individual desks or
we
group
do?
Desks?
So the desks are
communal
like
learning
those college desks where the thingy is attached. So you're sitting in the chair,
the table,
and it's not like you have a table. Rather just one. I'm so glad you asked that. I'm so glad this person asked that because great.
Yes.
So let me finish the description of the classroom setting and then I'll answer that because that's a great question. So it's not like, a table and a chair. We sit at the desks and the desks have like the little.
It's a desk.
It's not.
Okay, we're old school. So when we grew up, we sat at a desk that had a chair and it had a table attached to it. That's what called a desk. Carry on.
A desk.
It's giving like new school. I don't know what's going on. That's what it's giving. That's what a desk is, dear. Go ahead.
Okay.
A student learning desk.
A student learning desk. That's what we sit at.
That's where you sit individually.
There are
in rows.
We sit in rows of. I think you changed it. We sit in rows of like 4 because there's like 20 or so kids in the class. There's almost 30 kids in the class. There's a lot of kids. So be prepared to be.
So what's the student teacher ratio? One teacher to about 30 students.
30 students. Yes.
Are there multiple class groups of different grades? Yes. There's a
7A, 7B.
2 7th grade classes,
2 8th grade classes, 1 9th grade class.
Okay.
The primary classes have more classes, if that makes sense. So like
Kelsey talked about how
you'll
they
have
are
like A B C D or whatever, ABC or whatever for
6A, 6B, 6C.
Yes.
5A, 5B, yeah.
And so on.
Okay, discipline.
Oh yes. So about the discipline. What methods of discipline do they use if a student is not on his best behavior? So I feel like
the guidebook, the handbook says that there is no corporal punishment at this school where she goes to. That's what the handbook says. And our children have never had any. The only disciplinary action was Kaia didn't know that she could not even bring her phone on campus premises.
That wasn't disciplinary.
And that was disciplinary.
Oh. Okay.
And so some students have been doing TikToks and doing videos or what have you. And the only way the school found out was because it was on social media. Somebody saw it and saw that you could see the background was the school or what have you. So one day, unannounced, they searched the students' belongings or what have you, and Kaia's phone was off and in her backpack.
I don't use my phone
because she didn't know she couldn't take it. Although that also was in the guidebook, but we missed that. But it was in there. Please 1 second.
I'm trying to vouch for myself because
you can do that after I'm done.
Okay.
I just want. They asked about discipline, so I'm just saying that the only disciplinary experience that she has had was when her phone was taken. The teacher spoke to her about it, told her, informed her about the policy.
She tried to tell me I was lying, ma'am. I gave you hardcore evidence.
She tried to tell you were lying about what?
She tried to tell me I was lying about not using my phone in school at all.
And then she said she believed her and she knew that she was a good student. Because I spoke with her on the phone with WhatsApp and I called
she was just
to find out what the consequence was going to be, how long the phone would be taken, and when a parent could come and get it or what the case would be. And so the principal of the secondary school, they're kind of like the headmaster of the Cambridge curriculum, was the one who had the phone. She got the phone. Her homeroom teacher is the one who found it in her bag. She really tried to keep it under wraps so that students or no other teachers would know because she didn't want Kaia's reputation to be tainted.
Sure.
She knows she's a good student anyway, so somebody saw. And she gave it over to her administrator, and he held on to it. He informed my husband and I of the policy, and my husband signed it out. That was a Friday. We got it on a Monday. But other forms of punishment that you have heard of taking place at the school
or witnessed, because So to start off, if you choose to send your child here, depending on the school, don't expect to, oh, my child is a good child and you are in a school. And so therefore, physical punishment will not be, acted upon your child. That is not the case. We are in Africa. They believe in, physical punishment as the best punishment. And so you'll see a lot of
What have you witnessed personally?
beating with random items, flip-flops, pencil cases, all that good stuff.
You have seen with your own
Yes,
eyes.
it happened today. But
what do you mean by beating?
Okay, so to give you a scenario, you were given a assignment in biology or economics or something like that. Let's say the economics teacher also happens to be your homeroom teacher. So you already have this person for like 3 more hours in the day than you usually do. Any other teacher, right? Say you have an economics assignment that you were given last week, and it is now Monday. It is time for you to turn that in, and you don't have that assignment. Your teacher is going to go around the class, show me the assignment in your book. If you don't have it, she's going to ask you, why were you slacking off over the weekend? You had the weekend to do it. I'm not giving you extra time. And then she'll probably whack you upside the head with a flip-flop or, something like that.
You have to stick to the facts.
Yes.
She'll probably, or I have seen.
Yes, I have seen multiple times. Somebody got hit with a flip-flop. We all got whacked on the hand with the back of a broom. That was kind of funny, not gonna lie.
You never told me that.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I was like, she came because I can't remember why, but I wasn't even part of it.
When was that?
Oh,
we'll talk about it later.
I remember. Okay. So it's also kind of like for petty stuff. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. Like if she was like, the teacher said, the number of questions that you get wrong on this thing is the number of times that you're going to be paddled on the hand. She has everybody grade their assignment, and then she goes and gets this little, those little like brooms set that you can find at Dollar Tree. It's like the hand
small
broom,
brush,
and then the little dustpan. She has one of those. She gets the broom. She's like, 2 and below, 3 to 6, whatever, and 8 and up for the number of questions that you got wrong. And then she'll whack you that many times on your hand. But anyways,
I remember you telling us that. We don't
I
have
remember
to deal with
telling
it.
you that. But it was a long time ago. So anyways, yes, physical punishment is definitely to be expected. And it's not even like
I think it's cultural. It is. It is cultural. Yeah.
But it's not even like. Well, in some cases, for some students, if you're giving the teacher a hard time, that's boosting your chances of you receiving some type of physical punishment. Like, yeah. But if it's not even like,
we need to wrap it up.
Okay, yes. So I think of myself as a good student. I turn in my assignments on time. I listen to the teachers. I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, right? Somehow I still find myself getting hit with a broom or whatever. But
why are you saying
because
like
I'm elaborating.
Happen regularly, and I didn't even know it happened the first time.
Because I told you. Are the teachers different nationalities? Yes, they are. So some of the teachers are Ugandan. Is she Tanzanian? I don't think she is. Ugandan, Rwandan, Burundian, Indian, all that type of stuff. So yes, they are different nationalities. But yeah, so it's not even your behavior does tie into it, but it's also, this sounds so bad to say, but how the teacher is feeling that day. So if she's coming around, asking, where are your assignment? You have your assignment, but oh, you didn't put the date.
The teacher.
Boom. Yes, the teacher. Then it's like they look for.
You mean boom?
Yes, boom.
With their hand.
Yes, or whatever they got in their hand. Today it was a marker case, but whatever.
Did you get hit with a marker?
Of course I did, because she was just going around for everybody. If you didn't have it, boom. If you did have it, but you didn't put a date on there, boom.
How come I gotta be doing a live on YouTube to find out that my child is getting hit when they know how we feel about it? So if you're gonna hold the student and the parents to a standard or expect them to abide by the policies and procedures in the handbook, you have to be held to that same standard. You have to abide by the policies and procedures in the handbook, because Kelsey has mentioned to us that in her class, a teacher will say, come up because you're going to get a spanking, or I'm going to, with the belt or with the rod or whatever. And we say, Tell him, yes, please. Yeah. Yeah, do that to me so that I can call my parents. In fact, no, before you do that, please allow me to call my parents because they have read the handbook and we know that this is part of the policy and you're not supposed to do this. We've said that. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful. But the policy says that you cannot. And so before you hit me, you have to call my parents and get their permission. That's what we have said. So I take issue with that. Now, I grew up under corporal punishment. I will say, old school. I mean, in the boys' wood shop, like girls had home economics, boys took wood shop. They would make the teachers paddles this thick, this long with a handle, and they would engrave and carve the teachers' names in them every year. And so, I mean, we were getting, and you could hear it across the hall and down the hall, bam, bam. So, I mean, I know spare the rod, spoil the child, but you never know a teacher's mental state, their intention, their motive, whether or not the magnitude of the crime warranted or justified the punishment. So I'm good with having a across the board no corporal punishment rule so that the parents can handle that. And if that's your rule, don't even hit my child with a pencil. Okay? So we're gonna have that's a whole nother WhatsApp text meeting.
You don't even
so we can have
mommy. They already think y'all are crazy.
It's okay.
No, it's not.
I'm good with that. They don't think we're crazy. We're just the American parents,
right? That are always texting them. You hit my child,
and it's not even always.
To stop that.
No, it's when it's appropriate. I mean, I'm not. My mother was an educator for 37 years, so I mean, I get the give and take for parents and teacher relationship, and I'm going to support what reinforces an environment for learning for my child, and discipline is okay. As long as you're not hitting my child, because that's let me hit my child.
What I will say,
okay, y'all, we can have a whole nother YouTube about that because some people don't believe in hitting children. We're blackity black American black, and we beat children. No, we don't beat. I have to smack you every once in a while.
Yeah,
anyway.
But what I will say though,
that's for me in my house. Okay,
yes,
we're not telling anyone. I'm not condoning abuse. I'm not telling anybody else to do that. But over here we spank, okay? We spank over here.
Contrary to popular belief.
Yeah. So we need to wrap it up. It's been an hour and almost 25 minutes.
Before we end this, she was saying that, you know, when you're talking to your teachers and you're telling them, my parents don't, you know, they don't approve of this, you know, whatever, the corporal punishment, all that good stuff.
Not my parents don't. You know, this is your school handbook, and it says that you cannot. So you need to call my parents first.
Well, still.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you're saying be respectful, things like that. One thing I will warn you: there's always going to be that one teacher that really thinks that they know what's best and that, you know, they know it all. Don't be afraid to say something. Okay, I have had to learn
You're saying
that
as the student.
as the student, yes.
Speak up for yourself.
It took me a while to learn that at first term, but it is now second term. I don't have time to play with my grades.
Yeah, she definitely was not one to. She would just be quiet and let snide comments and remarks and belittling things be said, and her personality is one. She's not quick with a comeback. She's not sarcastic. She's not rude. And we teach our children to be respectful of authority and their seniors and their elders. Don't run off at your mouth. Don't do that. And now, if you can matter of factly state the events and the facts and be accurate and not be disrespectful, then you know go right in. No, I did.
When push comes
I
to shove,
actually did turn in my homework
on
time. Can you please grade it? You know, now, yes, I did turn in my homework on time. You need to grade my homework.
Well, yes, you do. If you took 30 years.
No, I turned it in on time. It was due at such and such. I wrote in my notes that you said you were expecting it on such and such. And that's when I turned it on. Yeah. Can you please grade that for me?
Don't try to play around them grades either.
So speaking up for yourself is what you're going to have to do because, And it's the
And
culture where children are
always
to be
double
seen and not
check
heard.
the grades. You always need to go back and count how many marks you got on that assignment.
That's
'Cause
not
those
every
teachers-
school for every
no,
teacher.
I'm just saying, like,
in my experience,
not
I
even
have
in my
had to blah
experience.
blah blah.
Not even in my experience.
You have to be.
Always go back and check. I don't care if you're in America, India, China, Africa, Asia, Europe. That is a continent. You know what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter where you are. Go over them marks. You could end up having a 35 out of 40 instead of a 27. Did I forget to tell you?
Yeah,
They
you can
gave
tell
me a
later because they
43
need
out
to
of
go
50.
and you need to go to bed.
I was supposed to have a 43 out of 50 on an exam. He tried to give me a 39. I'm so glad I went back over on that thing. So
Yeah.
y'all count your marks.
Yeah, every student should always do that anyway. Look over your information, first of all, to see what you got wrong, why you got it wrong, because you need to learn and understand the information. Like, why did I get it wrong? What is it that I'm not understanding? What did I understand incorrectly? Number one. Number two, I mean, teachers make mistakes. They're human, and sometimes they miscount things. And so you might need to get your
Multiple
points
times.
back. Yeah. All right. If there are no more questions, we have held you all for quite some time. We appreciate your time. If you made it this far, yay! You stuck with us for an hour and almost 30 minutes. So we know that probably means you have subscribed. If you haven't, please subscribe. Like this video. Share this video with anybody who is thinking about moving to Kigali and wants to know about one family's experience here, because it's just our experience. It's not everywhere. And we just want to keep you all in loop with what's going on and what's happening with us. What do you say, Kaia?
You say bon nuit or
You-
merci.
Merci. Good night for us. Good afternoon for you guys. God bless you. Take care. And until the next video, reclaiming our identity is
What
out.
bye in
Okay.
French?
Bye. Au revoir.
Oh,
Au revoir.
au revoir. How could
I know more
forget?
French than you. And can you run that?
No, it's been a long time. No, it hasn't.
It hasn't been that long?
No.
Okay.